Allosexual. So, and if you didn't catch on, today we're talking about allosexuality. That is literally what it's called. Like, I'm reading it right now. This one my friend taught me about, so once I learned about it, I was like, yep, doing research on that. And, you know, you'll all understand, because, like, the majority of you are probably this sexuality anyway, whether you're straight or not. So, let's get into it. Alright, now to start off with, what is allosexual? It's actually really easy. It's the opposite of asexual. That's it, you know. Asexuality is when you have little to no sexual attraction to anyone, and allosexual is when you do have sexual attraction to people. So, like, it's kind of the easiest explanation I've ever done, really. Now, I wouldn't say, I wrote down it was made, but I wouldn't say it was made. It was more discovered, I would say. It was discovered to normalize asexuality, which, you know, yeah. I mean, I guess the word is named. It was named to normalize asexuality because, you know, people would probably just say, oh, you're asexual, I'm normal, I have sex with girls. Yeah. And then, obviously, that's not good. Like, don't call people, like, that normal, because, like, that's saying that asexuals aren't normal, which they are. So, please don't do that. So, yeah, that's, like, what that is. It was just to normalize asexuality, which, you know, fair enough. I'm not complaining. Also, you're probably wondering what alo means. It comes from the word allistic, which is the opposite of autistic. Now, I'm not going to get into it here because I have a whole video planned for this, but yeah, allistic is the opposite of autistic. That's literally it. But we will get into that eventually. This one was cool because it has another name. It can also be called Z-sexual. Now, I actually didn't know why this was, and when I was just getting ready to record, I was like, I should probably check why it's called that. And I actually really love the reason why it's called that. It's because asexual starts with A, so Z-sexual starts with Z, so A to Z. That's so clever. That's really cool. I like that. I think I might like the word Z-sexual better, but I was calling it allosexual for this video, mostly because I wanted to do that intro, but and the allistic fact as well, yeah. So, yeah, I think that's really cool, actually. So, whoever named it that, great job. That was so clever. I feel like this is obvious. You can be allosexual and another sexuality. Like, obviously, come on. Like, because I personally am a homoromantic asexual. But you could be homosexual and allosexual, or bisexual and allosexual, or pansexual and allosexual, or lesbian and allosexual. Also, side note, I don't know what, like, the sexual term for lesbian is called, like a something sexual. Is it just lesbian? I don't know. Or is it homosexual? I don't know. If someone knows, please tell me, because I'll probably forget to Google it. But I should also say this too, you can also be any gender in allosexual, like, obviously. It's not just like a male thing or a female thing. You can be non-binary and allosexual, you can be trans and allosexual, you can be gender fluid and allosexual, like, you can be any gender and still be allosexual, because your, like, sexual desires has nothing to do with your personal gender. Like, obviously your sexuality has something to do with gender, because it's, like, whatever gender you're attracted to, so, but it's you as an individual person, it doesn't really matter either way. You can be any gender and allosexual, that's my point. Okay, for my last point, you probably knew I was going to say this. It's a spectrum. I really should put this on a shirt now and sell it. Yeah, it's a spectrum, like, obviously. Like, I don't really know what else I can say here, because, like, there's probably, like, limits to how many people you want to have sex with, or, like, limits to, like, who you want to have sex with, like, so it's all a spectrum, you know? Just like asexuality and, you know, everything else, like being trans, being non-binary, like, the LGBT community as a whole is a spectrum, really. So, I don't really have anything to elaborate on that, because I've said that in, like, basically every one of these videos. So, that's just where I'm going to leave it there. It's a spectrum. I had a lot of points to talk about with this. I'm really glad. I kind of thought I didn't have that many, but I have 7. So, yeah, that's cool. But, that's where I'm going to end that video there. I would say, let me know if you're allosexual, but let's face it, the majority of people are. But let me know if, you know, you're not allosexual, because, or don't, that's not my business. And, please like and subscribe. And I'm Vivi, and I'll see you next time. Bye!